Wake Up Jacob. This is Israelite Prepper. And if you are rocking with the vibe, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Hope everybody's doing good during this lockdown. But I saw an article. It's probably about a couple days old, maybe a week old, or something like that, and it kind of had me wondering and pondering a little bit. And it was suggesting that blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are more susceptible to the plague that's going on right now. So, is that true? I don't know. I mean, is that true? What do you make of it? Let me know your thoughts. Put it in the comment section below. But I'm gonna give you a little bit, a piece of the article, and then get you guys' thoughts on it. But it says right here, health issues for Black, Latinos, and Native Americans may cause coronavirus to ravage communities. Let me show you guys real quick. See? So it says it may ravage communities. So kind of weird. Sorry if it comes up backwards, but you guys see, and I'm actually reading an article, so it's kind of weird. It says, Shalom, shalom, Lisi, how's it going? It says, let's see here, Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans have many underlying health conditions, including asthma and heart disease, but that could make them more vulnerable to complications from the coronavirus, leaving advocates, lawmakers, and public health experts worried these long marginalized communities won't get equal access to tests and treatment as the outbreak spreads. It says the virus is an equal opportunity crisis, but the impact on and the burden of it is not going to be shared equally, said Dr. Ashwin Vasan, okay, a public health expert and assistant professor of Columbia University in New York City. Like most things in society, it's going to be regressive. It's going to be felt disproportionately by the poor, the vulnerable, the marginalized, and obviously that falls in this country on communities of color. As the coronavirus continues to spread across the country, advocates and civil rights groups are pushing to get local and federal lawmakers to focus attention on communities of color and steer resources to places like reservations and community health centers that serve them. Some are calling for federal officials to track the number of people of color who have died from the coronavirus and set up a commission to study how it is spreading in those communities. There are more than 140,000 confirmed COVID-19 cases in the U.S. by Monday. Remember, this is like a week old anyway, so it's more than that already. Officials have not released. Let's see here. It kind of flashed on me here. Okay, there it is. Okay, officials have not released information on race and coronavirus cases. Sorry, it jumped out of place there. Quote, it says, you need to do this with intention, said Vasan, who is also president and CEO of the mental health charity Foundation House based in New York City. You need to map out which communities are already at the margins of care and resources and testing and already have preconditions, disproportionate health conditions, and then say, all right, how do we ensure that we're going there? Okay. So it says long history of health disparities. It says long before the pandemic, people of color have experienced racial and ethnic health disparities, including a lack of access to quality care and health insurance. Public health experts say federal agencies, as well as nonprofit health organizations, have studied the problem and set up programs to address it. It goes on to say the coronavirus outbreak is a stark reminder of those gaps, advocates said. Quote, it further shines a light on the long-standing inequities that exist in society, said J. Nadine Gracias, Executive Vice President and CEO at Trust for American Health, a public group in Washington, D.C. It says U.S. Rep. Robin Kelly, chairwoman of the Congressional Black Caucus Health Brain Trust, said communities of color tend to be hit hardest by health crisis because they tend to have less wealth than whites and less access to health care. And then it finishes up by saying, we're very concerned because, as we like to say, when the majority gets a cold, we get the flu or we get pneumonia, said Kelly, a Democrat from Illinois. Okay, so that's pretty much, no, let's see, there might be a little bit more of this, let's see. Oh, okay, oh, that's a a lot more. So anyway, let me get you guys' thoughts, on that. They're just saying that, blacks and white Latinos get hit hardest because they don't have the resources and the other opportunities that non-black white Latinos get in that. So they're kind of drawing, mm, I won't even say implying. They're straight up just saying, hey, it's going to hit the marginalized community a lot more than it's going to hit other communities. And like I said, when I saw the title, I was kind of like, could that just what do you guys think? What do you guys think about that? Let's see a couple other places here. It says while the Affordable Care Act helped many people of color get health coverage, many still don't have insurance or access to providers and quality care. Experts say, according to the census, 8.5 of whites were uninsured in 2007, compared with 10.6 of blacks, 7.3 for Asians, and 16.1 for Hispanics. Now, I'll tell you something about the whole Affordable Care Act. I feel like I can speak on it because I work in that space, in the insurance space. Here's the thing, that first year, where it came out, a lot of people were getting it, like gangbusters and stuff. But then that very next year, when premiums rose, it was crazy. People were dropping left and right. Within 1 year, people that I helped, 80-90% dropped out the very next year. And of course they would call me and they would say, let me check out this real quick, the volume. So when they called me, they would say, hey, I thought I got that credit. I thought I got that, the health credit, the premium credits and stuff to pay for it. And I'm like, yeah, you did. And then I go back, I would review. And they still have the credit. If they qualified, for example, $400, the very next year they still had that $400, but the premium went up. Okay, and sometimes the premium doubled or tripled. It was ridiculous. It was a ridiculous amount. So I'm not so sure that the Affordable Care Act helped really anyone. It helped them that first year, but then people, since they're paying for this insurance, they're going to go for a paper cut. They're going to go, to the hospital for that. So I don't know. The good, I'm not sure. Dr. Melissa Clark, former assistant dean in the Howard University College of Medicine in Washington, D.C., said the nation's history of health disparities and the stressors faced by the people of color, including racism and poverty, are factors in those communities disproportionately having the very diseases that COVID-19 present a problem for. Okay? Those include high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, lung disease, including asthma and chronic bronchitis, autoimmune diseases like lupus, all disproportionately found in blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Clark said it's not that people of color are more vulnerable to getting the virus, but they're more vulnerable to having more severe manifestations, which can lead to hospitalization and death. In addition to the elderly, people at risk for serious health risks and death from the coronavirus have underlying conditions including hypertension, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, chronic respiratory disease, and cancer. African Americans were 60% more likely to be diagnosed with diabetes and twice as likely as non-white Hispanics to die from it, according to the Federal Department of Health and Human Resources Office of Minority Health. American Indians, Alaska Natives were 3 times more likely to have diabetes and 2.5 times more likely to die from it. Hispanics, meanwhile, were 1.7 times more likely to have diabetes and 1.4 times more likely to die. Clark, author of Excuse Me Doctor, I've Got What, said many studies have found bias in the healthcare system, and she's worried about the medical professionals minimizing symptoms when people of color seek care. Okay? I'm concerned about that day. God forbid we get to that in this country where choices have to be made about who gets a ventilator, she said. Okay, it's getting close to that, real quick. And then it says the people of color could also be more at risk because of their professions, such as anyone working in retail, construction, or other jobs who can't work from home. Meanwhile, healthcare jobs, including personal care aides and practitioners, are among the top 10 jobs with a high concentration of African Americans, said Shameen Jai, an economics professor at Alabama State University's College of Business Administration. And he said people are getting sick, too many people are dying. Kelly and other members of the Congressional Black Caucus recently sent a letter to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi urging her to push to make sure Emergency legislation to address the outbreak includes more resources for tests and equipment for community health centers and local hospitals. President Trump signed a historic $2 trillion. It keeps this site. This is on USA Today. This site is jumping around, so I'm just gonna stop it right there because it's irritating me right now. So they basically just talking about minorities are more at risk to get it or die from it because of lack of, well, one, pre-existing conditions that they might have, hypertension, high blood pressure, diabetes, so on and so forth, cardiovascular. You heard the article, and they're just saying that they're more likely to contract it or die from it, I should say, because everybody can contract it the same, but to die from it because of pre-existing conditions and stuff. So as far as the demographics, of who's getting it, who's dying, I guess we got to see. Yeah, Lisa, you're right. It's because of the food. Yeah, we eat a lot of processed food, fried food, fatty food, oils and fats and butters. We love all kinds of things that are not good for us. That are definitely precursors and causes these diabetes, high blood pressure, hypertension, things like that, autoimmune. We eat a lot of things that obviously cause mucus in our system. We eat a lot of things that cause us not to be alkaline, things like that. So we do get sick and we do bring it on ourselves. That is absolutely true. We do. And if someone has these pre-existing conditions and then contract COVID-19, yeah, they're going to have more complications because they don't have really good health. So, I see what they're trying to say. It's unfortunate. I see it, but we got, like I said, we got to take this opportunity right now, this whole lockdown, and we have to reevaluate all of our personal choices. Period. From top to bottom. Am I going to continue when this is all over? When we ask ourselves, when this is all over, am I going to continue to eat this way? Am I going to continue to do what I was doing before the lockdown? Will I still live the exact same way? Okay. Will I still have the same process? Will I still have the same outlook, on life, top to bottom? Okay. Are you gonna have the same career, job, same income goals, same thing, live in the exact same place, eat the same way, all that from top to bottom? Are we gonna reevaluate everything? Obviously, I believe a lot of people are going to go back to sleep, and this is just going to be a blip on the radar. Nothing's going to happen at all for a lot of people. I'm not going to say most. I'm not going to say all. I don't know, but I think a lot of people, because we have a normalcy bias. We want things to get back to the way they were, point blank, period. But as I said in other videos, I'll say right here, it will be a new normal. A new normal will happen, will take place. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. That just depends. Are we going to be a little bit healthy? Are we going to be healthier? Healthier is the goal. But are we going to be healthier? Are we going to make better choices? Are we going to live the same? Are we going to do things a lot different? From meat selection, everything. Top to bottom. When I say top to bottom, I mean really, really top to bottom. I really, really mean that. So, I don't know if it hits us worse than others. Hey, give me your thoughts. Put it in the comment section below. Click the thumbs up. Share with other people. Like, share, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Let's talk about it. Put it in the comment section below. I'm gonna get you guys on the next one.